Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, 4 Detroit Lions are caught up in a gambling investigation leading to suspensions, and 2 players have been cut from the team. The Lions made that announcement before noon, saying receiver Quintez Cephas and safety C.J. Moore are off the team, and the NFL has suspended them indefinitely for gambling on NFL football games. Meantime, wide receiver Jameson Williams and receiver Stanley Berryhill, well, they are suspended for 6 games for online betting on non-NFL games that took place at the Lions Allen Park facility. General Manager Brad Holmes says the players made decisions that are not consistent with the organization's values. Right now, Jamie Edmonds working on this story from Ford Field. And Jamie, this is a huge blow to the Lions, who were really expecting to get a full season out of their star wide receiver.
Yeah, Karen, that's right. Last year, you remember, Jameson Williams missed 11 games as he rehabbed from a torn ACL. Now he's going to miss the first 6 games of this season. Now, as you said, they released wide receiver Quintez Cephas, and wide receiver Stanley Berryhill is suspended. So now it begs the question, what happens in that wide receiver room? Well, they still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Jones, and Khalif Raymond. But it seems like they're going to have to add a piece, whether that be in free agency or in that upcoming draft that is less than a week away. Karen?
Okay, so I do have a question, because it's a little confusing, because the NFL does not restrict players from betting on non-NFL games, right?
That is correct. This whole thing is confusing because the league is partnered with these gambling sites. So, yeah, it's confusing. But you cannot bet on NFL games, on the draft, or anything league related. That's the problem with C.J. Moore and Quintez Cephas, what they're accused of. But players can bet on other sports, and that's what Williams and Berryhill did, but at the team facility. They know the rules. They shouldn't have done it, so they are suspended. Coming up at 5 and 6, we're going to have more reaction, especially from Williams' agent, and it seems like the wide receiver is taking responsibility. Wow. Karen.
All right. Breaking throughout the afternoon. We'll check back with you in just a little bit. Thanks, Jamie. In other news, we do have a court decision that could rock the political landscape in the city of Warren. The Michigan Court of Appeals has ruled current Mayor Jim Fouts cannot run for a 5th term. Voters approved an amendment to the city charter back in 2020 that changed term limits for the mayor to 3 to 4-year terms, but a lower court had ruled the language addressing years served before 2020 was not clear, which allowed Fouts to run again. Well, now the appeals court says he is disqualified. Rob Maloney is getting a reaction from Mayor Fouts himself, and there's another twist you'll never see coming on this. Don't miss Rod's report tonight at 5. Police are searching for a Warren man they say was caught on video punching someone, and get this, it was at a meeting filled with Cub Scouts and their families. Warren police shared this video with us. They say it shows 26-year-old Tyrone Sledge taking a swing at another man who's in the hospital after the injury. Investigators say a woman and the victim had a discussion over a disabled parking spot in the lot at Roos Elementary School. Well, they believe she called her brother, who then came in and hit the guy. Here's a closer look at Tyrone Sledge. He is charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, a 10-year felony. If you do see him, call Warren police. They say he could be violent, and you definitely do not want to approach him yourself. In your first forecast, some of you might be seeing some of those rain showers out there, but the evening should get better as we go along. Kim Adams is ready to pinpoint exactly what we can expect. Kim?
Well, Karen, it has been definitely a soggy day and also a cool day. There's definitely been a chill in the air, and we're still seeing showers on Exact Track 40 radar, but mainly on the east side at this hour. So Warren, Mount Clemens, up into parts of Chesterfield, Roseville, the Grosse Pointes, all getting rain at this hour, and down into Wayne County, also some showers for Lincoln Park, Southgate, Riverview. But then you go over to Northville and Plymouth and it dries out. But it's been raining so much that if you do have outdoor activities tonight, those fields are going to be quite wet, and it's going to be chilly. Temperatures right now only in the 40s in Pontiac and Ann Arbor, 50 in Mount Clemens. You can see exactly where the cold front is. Right now it's 50 in Detroit, but 74 down in Columbus. More rain is ahead for the weekend, so we will time it out hour by hour for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks, Kim. Once again, the entire country waiting for the United States Supreme Court to weigh in on what is next for the so-called abortion pill. The court pushed its own deadline to tonight, and we could get a decision really at any time. Kimberly Gill joins us now to remind us where things stand right now and what's at stake.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. We're tracking a very complicated legal situation, waiting for the highest court in the land to provide some clarity for women across the country. If you're following this, you know the battle concerns a drug called mifepristone. The first question before the court is what kind of access will women have to the drug in the immediate future? A Texas judge ordered the suspension of FDA approval of the drug, effectively taking mifepristone off the market, but his ruling was narrowed by an appeals court, which said the drug should be available, but with more restrictions on when women could take it and forbidding access through the mail. On top of all that, a judge in Washington state has ruled the drug must be kept available in 17 Democratic-leaning states that are fighting to protect access. So the Supreme Court needs to decide what kind of access will be available right now. It could also decide whether to divide or to, I should say, dive into the larger case right away, since there are conflicting rulings from two equally powerful courts. People who want the drug off the market say they're concerned about women's health, but the other side says the decision will erode FDA's authority. So, Karen, I know you'll break in with any new information on this, and of course, we'll have a live report coming up on the news at 5.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
Sure thing.
By the way, one final note for comparison. Some other commonly used drugs actually have higher death rates than mifepristone. I want you to take a look at this. The abortion pill is connected to 5 deaths per million users. The antibiotic penicillin linked to about 20 deaths per million, according to a study on life-threatening allergic reactions. And the ED drug Viagra has a death rate that's nearly 10 times the abortion pill, and that is according to the FDA. Flowering plants are all over the place right now. Many of us can't wait to start putting them in the ground, especially when we have those warm, sunny days. But you might want to wait just a little bit longer. Don't get pulled in by all those flashy colors. Paula Tutman is live in Pontiac for us to explain why we can't rush the season just because we want to. But oh, Paula, it's so tempting. Look at you.
I know. This is that time of year. I know. I love it. I love it. I love this. It's that time of year we just want to play in the dirt. So many of us. But listen, here is the thing. This is also the time of year where, honestly, you could actually take your money and just throw it into a dirt hole and forget about it. That's why it's so important that we understand our planting zones. Tim Travis of Gardner Walsh Garden and Home and our First at 4 garden guy walks us through the importance of knowing your particular planting zone and using that as your guide.
The difference between 5B and 6A, actually, it goes down to -5 degrees or -10 degrees.
Michigan actually has as many as 6 planting zones. Zones give you an idea of temperature highs and lows, so you can find which plants can actually survive our climate. Most of Michigan lies somewhere between zones 6 and 6A.
That's only a 5-degree difference, but it could be night and day difference for a plant.
So let's say you're at a nursery and you see this plant and this plant. Which one do you want to buy and plant?
This is what it would look like in your garden right now. So this is okay.
Think time of year and temperature. This time of year, a plant would not look this lush. It means it's been raised in a hothouse and the foliage has been pushed. You actually want to choose the plant that's hardened off and looks more like this.
You're going to see this and it's like candy. You can't help yourself. You're going to see this, it's like, well, I can do better. But this is the real deal here. This is what you should be buying and planting right now.
For tender veggies, just because they're being sold right now doesn't mean you should buy them and plant them right now.
This is an example that I found this morning. Just being out in the cold, you can see the damage on the leaves. And it's very stressful. This plant will never really perform that well.
But there are some cold hardy veggies that love this weather.
Broccoli, cabbage, things like that. But no zucchinis, nothing like that.
So for your flowering annuals, which means you plant them annually, pansies, snapdragons, calendula, they can handle our climate. For perennials, like hydrangeas, don't purchase anything in Easter bloom.
If they're blooming now, they first of all, that's it. They're not going to bloom at all again. But those are generally just grown as a impulse buy.
But spring leafing, perfect. Yeah, you really have to pay attention to that. And so listen, Karen, everybody, couple of quick rules of thumb. We live in Michigan. I know the weather temperatures are up and down. Just wait until after Mother's Day. Then it's usually safe to plant. But also, if you don't really know your zone and you want to do some planting, think about what your plant is probably going to look like right now. If it is a perennial, choose that one, not this one. But if you wait 3 weeks, it's not going to matter. You can plant absolutely everything. Just get out there and get your hands dirty.
I know, it's fun to get messy, right? But I did not know that about the whole thing. I would have picked the other plant. You taught me something. I appreciate it.
That's why I'm here to help you.
Thank you so much, Paula.
This one.
All right.
That one.
Have a good one. Investigation of a fatal accident taking a surprising turn this afternoon, and it's caught on camera. And by the way, the train is not to blame for the death. The story behind this video next. Later, auto theft pressure, how Michigan and several other states are trying to get protection more quickly for thousands of drivers. Stay with us.